Imagine the clock strikes midnight, you're at a crossroads, and you bump into a stranger. It's you, but from a year in the future. Would you recognize them? Would you want to be them? Imagine you're a detective, hot on the trail of the elusive future you. Only instead of a dimly lit office, you're in your living room, and instead of a trench coat, you're wearing your favorite pair of sweatpants. The mystery isn't who done it, but who's gonna do it. You, that is. Now you may be thinking, a year from now, I can barely decide what I'm having for lunch. But don't worry, this isn't about having it all figured out. It's about the small steps that lead to big changes. Picture a garden. Now, not every seed you plant will sprout overnight. Some take a little longer, require a bit more care, but with a bit of sunlight here, a sprinkle of water there, you'll have a blossoming botanic buffet before you know it. Now let's say you're a bit of a green thumb when it comes to procrastination. You've got a thriving jungle of I'll do it tomorrows. Well, future you is the gardener, and it's time to do some weeding. Remember, future. You isn't a separate entity, a distant relative you only see at family reunions. Future you is in the making, right here, right now. Every decision, every action is a stepping stone on the path to becoming that person. But what if future you turns up with a mullet and a pet llama named Steve? Well, it's your future, so if a llama named Steve is what you're after, then go for it. But if that's not quite the look you're going for, it's time to start making some changes. The great philosopher Confucius once said, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." He didn't mention anything about needing a GPS, a packed lunch, or a pair of comfortable shoes, but I'm sure he'd agree those are pretty good ideas too. So as we wrap up this little chat, consider the image of future you. Are you a fan of what you see? If not, remember that future you isn't set in stone. You've got the chisel and hammer in your hands. Now, I'm not saying you should get out there and become a marble sculptor, but if that's what future you looks like, then you better start chipping away. As you go about your day, week, or even year, keep future you in mind. Every decision, every action is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. Will it be a masterpiece or a doodle? Only you can decide. So here's your call to action. It's not a big one. It's not a scary one, but it's an important one. Take a moment to think about future you. What do they look like? What are they doing? And most importantly, are you working towards that person or walking away from them? Remember, future you is counting on present you. Don't let them down. After all, wouldn't it be nice to meet future you and be proud of what you see? So go out there and make future you proud. After all, future you is just present you, but with a bit more experience and hopefully a better haircut. And if you do end up with a llama named Steve, well, I'm sure he's a great listener.